Alright, so I start up Call of Duty 4 and Xfire pops up. This is a very handy application. And as you may notice, I have no music going in the background. And I'll teach you how to disable the music. So just type in cod4 disable music on Google and quick search, click on the first one you see, and it tells you right there. You can either rename the file as they suggest, or you can just delete it completely. The reason I disable the in-game Call of Duty 4 music is because it's just really annoying when you're trying to hear people's footsteps and there's like background music and you're like, what the fuck? So, yeah, it's just really bad for people who use their hearing sort of like a UAV like me. It's just sort of like, what the fuck? Okay, before I start fragging, I do a couple things. I do some console commands that improve my FPS. Basically, you want the best performance on your machine as possible. Graphics, I don't really give a shit about. I just want pwn people, so I disable a lot of stuff, and it looks sort of crappy, but in the end, you can see a lot clearer. You'll shoot enemies way faster, and it'll just be a whole lot better for your overall gameplay. So basically, I'm going to show you some console commands here. First one I'm going to show you is type that little tilde thing in the what the fuck is it called? The console, and it'll bring it up. And so I type com and then underscore max FPS. Now what this does is Call of Duty 4 usually limits your FPS to 90. What this allows you to do is have more FPS than 90, so you can have like 3000 for all you care. And I have a pretty kick-ass system, so I get around 140 FPS just because I do a console command. Next one is R underscore draw decals. Now this doesn't really do a lot, but it can improve your frame rate by like 5 FPS. And all it does is get rid of some extra stuff that makes absolutely no sense to have in the game. So now we're going to type SM underscore enable, and what this does, and if you type 0 after the enable part, disable shadows. I haven't really found a use for shadows in the game. I think they're just purely cosmetic. I mean, I just don't find any use for them, and it improves your frame rate by a lot. Like, some people get plus 30 FPS just because they get rid of the fucking shadows. Okay, so here I want to set my screen resolution to 800 by 600. You can set it higher if you really want to, but I don't really find a use for it. And I just turn everything off. Shadows, dynamic lighting, bullet impacts. I mean, you don't really need any of this shit. I mean, I just turn everything off. So it looks crappy, but the gameplay is it's pretty tight. So you want to set your sound quality to high because it's just so much easier to locate people. If you set it to medium, you might think they're in one hallway when they're actually in another hallway, or they're below you when they're actually above you. So just setting it to high just really gives you a lot more 3D sound. So with all these options and these tweaks, I get around 144 FPS, as you can see in the top right hand corner of the picture there. So for classes, I have primary, I don't know, that's just why I named it. It's the M4, which is better. It's the best pretty much assault rifle, I think. Overall, it's a lot better than the G36C, which is basically the same thing. It's just whichever you prefer. But I have frag times 3, choke points, large games. This is invaluable. Or when you're pinned behind cover, and the only thing you can do is throw a frag over the top of a car or something to relieve you of assholes shooting bullets at you. And then we have UAV jammer. This is a must for every good player. I mean, if they don't know where you are on the radar, a lot of noobs use their radar to find everybody. So if you have this, you're pretty much invisible to them. If you move right, like just be sneaky, be ninja-like. And then we have deep impact. This is a good perk, especially on hardcore. You can just take out campers like the shit with this thing. When you miss somebody and they run behind a wall, just keep popping at that wall. Think of the hallway that they would have taken and just try to guesstimate where the hallway is and shoot through the wall at it. And you'll be surprised at how many kills you can get. Next class I have, yes, it involves the noob weapon, the M16. Basically, this is a good overall weapon. Especially during regular games, you have the stopping power on. It basically takes out people in one hit. Deep impact, that's a D2D because you're going to be taking out snipers. Basically with the M16 you're sort of a long range counter sniper, I don't know. It's basically just good for everything in general. Red dot's the best sight in the whole game. You basically don't need anything else unless you have an ACOG and a sniper. I like to use that every once in a while, just for hardcore though. And I always have the M9 as a sidearm, just because of its fast firing weight, and in hardcore modes it pones, except for the Desert Eagle, which is better, but I like the M9 too, so. You want a sniper somewhere in one of your classes. It's just good for changing to the server pace. If you want to be a good all-around Call of Duty 4 player, you have to be a good sniper. I just like to try to be good with everything so you can adapt more to different situations. So basically I have the Bolt Sniper. I find it's a lot more reliable than the semi-automatic snipers. In sniper games I usually win just because I have a Bolt Sniper and I can using my elite skills. And the Desert Eagle is the best hardcore pistol, one shot, boom, the dead. And you have the Claymores, of course, because you're going to be doing some camping. The UAV jammer, DTD, you don't want anybody to catch you. Dead silence, you can just basically run around and do whatever you want. Next is my favorite hardcore class. It's the MP5 with silencer and dead silence, UAV jammer, frag times 3. Basically my favorite hardcore setup, and I like to use it in normal mode too. Basically nobody hears you. When you're playing against good players, they use their hearing a lot. Like, they can find you just because they hear you, and they will kill you. They know exactly where they are. They'll chuck a nade, whatever. It's imperative that you have dead silence on when you're in these small games where hearing is very important, or you're against really good players who know what they're doing. And the frag times 3 is just for basically spamming the fuck out of the opponents. So it's pretty sweet. My last class is the assault / stealth, and I have the frag times 3 UAV jammer dead silence. Again, this is for those when I jump into a server, there's usually one other really good guy, and so I have to take him out somehow, and dead silence helps me do that. Red dot sight, M16, it's really powerful, really good setup. Frag times 3, that's just for clearing areas, getting rid of campers, stuff like that. And I always use stun grenades. As you can see, I always have a special stun grenade. You don't want to use flashbangs because it may blind them for a while, but they can still move, they can still hop around, they can still shoot. And chances are, if they're randomly shooting in hardcore, they're going to hit you. The stun, it makes them, it's really hard for them to move, so you can, just run around the back and knife them, or just basically shoot them because they're looking sideways and they can't turn. So this is another good setup. Another thing is, once you kill someone, you want to run up to their weapon and switch it for your pistol right away. It's just a good idea to have a variety. This is why I find the overkill perk pretty useless, because once you kill somebody, their gun is basically yours. So I'll be running around, I'll kill a sniper, I'll pick up his weapon, and I can use that for big, long alleyways that I know people are going to be coming through. And then I can just switch to my M16 when it's getting a little closer fighting. So yeah, that's my classes and my perks and my dick. Just kidding, ha ha ha.